All right, welcome everybody. This is the 21st episode of the pod.
We're grown-ups now.
Hello. Yeah. That's Robbie, our sound man.
The gang's all here. If you don't know who we are yet, you're not invited to our 21st. And what a shame for you, because we're talking about the most adult discussion point ever. Dinosaurs.
Yes. I love dinosaurs. What do you think, Rob?
I think dinosaurs are pretty cool, guys.
Me too.
Thirded. I reckon they're cool as well. I'm really excited about this episode because the first segment that we have in store for you, what a treat, is entitled Fact Club, much like book clubs, except for it's three men discussing facts instead of a novel that revolves around a woman that's supposed to represent the people in that book club, but 20 years earlier going, if only I was as brave as her at that age, I wouldn't be as depressed as I am now. Instead, we're talking, this is your Discovery Channel version of that, as this is Fact Club, Dinosaur Edition. Dinosaurs. What do you know about them?
So we're just going to go around the circle and we're going to say everything we know about dinosaurs, which is a lot, I think. I've been researching it all day, so...
You should have been doing other stuff. We were supposed to be writing a script, and he contributed literally zero. Tom is
told us to
paid.
get rid of.
Tom is paid. That is his job. God, I've never felt more like a pissed 40-year-old manager before in my life. I understand why they're so angry now. Those guys that work at Hungry Jack's going, Kevin, get off your ass and make some fries.
I'm watching a doco on dinosaurs.
He was reading blogs on dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, it's going to be worth the time now.
Well, let's start with you then, Tom. So what do you know about dinosaurs?
That's a mistake, yeah. All right, not much. Okay, the first thing I know about dinosaurs is the dinosaurs that we all know about are actually from the Cretaceous period, not the Jurassic period, which is actually from the Mesozoic era, which is kind of like the collective of the Jurassic, Triassic, and Cretaceous periods.
You can learn exactly the same point from looking up any YouTube video that's under 2 minutes that says 10 things you didn't know about dinosaurs, which is clearly what Tom has done.
Yeah, well, let me continue. So, go ahead, you've got to go.
That's fair enough. It's still facts. It's
9 to go.
Yeah. So most people think that the dinosaurs come from the Jurassic period, which is actually not true because that was the first period in the Mesozoic era, and the dinosaurs kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger as the period went on because there was so much, plant life, and it was just so the climate was just perfect for huge animals to walk the earth. Was
that the climate? Because
Yeah.
I learned a different theory.
Why do you think they're so big?
It was as described in, and how great is this? Because it's an American documentary, and the ones that are more credible have a British accent. And maybe it's just because they have a British accent that they seem more credible to me. But if you've got somebody saying in this accent, dinosaurs, they once ruled the earth 265 million years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time. In that voice, they were interviewing a bunch of American paleontologists, and they're way more animated than the British ones, and they're saying that because it's big, what you've got is a prehistoric Cold War happening between predator and prey, a race, an arms race of size and scale. If you're big enough, you can't be eaten. That's the motivation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess so. I think it was just everything was larger because there was just the climate produced a lot more like plant life, which therefore it was. Yeah, I guess it's just evolution going like
True
hardball.
Tom, having only clearly read facts.com / dinosaurs 10 cool things you knew about them, still sounds more credible than the American paleontologist from Arizona University.
Yeah, that's just like my wild guess. But yeah, but
it does sound better
makes
though.
Sense, right?
In your accent, I've got to say, I trust you more.
Yeah, good. But yeah, so the thing is they got bigger and bigger, and everyone always makes a mistake of thinking that, it's all, Jurassic Park, therefore...
Too big to fail.
T-Rex is at Jurassic. It was actually the Cretaceous era, which is where we have our big extinction event, which was the comet, which I've read some very interesting theories about today, about how the dinosaurs became extinct.
Which extinction is this? Is this the fifth?
No,
Fourth?
the first was the Permian extinction.
Was that it?
Yeah, it was the first one,
That was the Big Mama.
which was like a massive extinction event where like 90% of all life was destroyed.
Right. How much of this life was it? What if that's the Big Mama? Is this the Big Aunt?
Yeah, this was the So yeah, the Cambrian extinction, which is the comet event, which killed the dinosaurs, was the second extinction, and it was the second largest. I think it was 30 or 60, which is a very different amount. But yeah, it's
That
one of the two.
sucks, that number. 30%?
Maybe it was 60. But yeah, that's still very significant.
Feels
I
like it needs to be
suppose, but
over
it seems like the
50%,
theme
doesn't it?
song of that whole period should be "Whoa, life goes on." The Permian extinction seems like there's too many
much
species
death.
extinct to even operate a recording studio. There is no song for the Permian extinction.
Yeah.
It is silence.
Well, it's kind of unfair because, yeah, the Permian extinction, it was just heaps of trilobites and like those tiny...
Dodos?
It's Almanite from Pokemon. No dodos.
No dodos.
not
Just all
dodos.
sea
What's
life.
with the dodos?
This is all sea life. The dodos, they were...
We were around for the dodos,
Yeah,
Robbie.
we
We ate
made
them.
them
We
extinct.
realised
Okay, all right, guys, just trying to learn some stuff here. You know, just picking your brains because that's what we're doing here.
You're listening to What Do You Know About Dinosaurs? Robbie, having done a very unconventional research method of watching a few episodes of The Flintstones, apparently.
How do you know less about this than me? I've spent like an hour looking at this.
I'm learning a lot. Please continue.
Okay, so the Permian extinction was caused by like underwater volcanoes and like basically the water was poisoned and like Jordan has said, the water went purple.
Purple.
That is
pretty
a
cool.
cool fact. I like that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Which also is cool. Did you know originally the water was all, for like a huge period of time, the water was red because as like Archaea, which was like the original, like the first life, started, it was like chemosynthesizing, and like as the animals started coming out of like the depths of the darkest part of the oceans and started interacting with sunlight, they started to photosynthesize, and as a byproduct they were creating carbon dioxide, which created the ozone layer, right? And then
It did.
yeah, but a
So
product.
the Republicans are right. Carbon dioxide is plant food.
Well, like that's the product, right? Oh, sorry. Is it oxygen actually?
I would
Anyway,
imagine it would
sorry,
be
yeah,
oxygen,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Photosynthesis.
I can't imagine the Republicans being right on this one.
Yeah.
Keep on tooting, bud.
But as a product of that, what happens is when you oxygenate something, right, you get rust. Like from steel, if you have steel and like the thing that causes rust is the oxygen. Yeah. And
That
like,
is true.
So,
I
like-
remember that from scouring Mitre 10, really bored one day when my dad was trying to fix up our patio.
and you're like, what causes this?
No, I just walked past a can that says deoxidizing formula.
yeah.
That's the only reason why I know
Yeah.
that. Thanks to Mitre 10, I learnt a segment about dinosaurs from a hardware store.
This isn't even dinosaurs. We've gone so off track. But yeah, that's like,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it kind of is.
It's all the rich tapestry.
But yeah, so all the water was red because it was just all rust. Like it was just too much rust, and the reason we know this happened is because now everywhere on the entire globe there's a thin layer of like red soil, which is just like rust essentially, and that's how we know.
God.
And then it kind of like reached kind of saturation point, and that created the ozone layer, which then stopped like UV radiation killing life on the surface and allowed life to go on land, which is pretty cool.
A rusty planet. Sounds kind of gross, doesn't it? It reminds me that if you were able to blast off into space during that period of the Earth's evolution, it'd just be resembling Krusty the Clown's head.
The crusty planet.
Planet Krusty.
Just heaps of Jewish clowns and rust.
And all the trees are Krusty burgers.
But yeah, so like
If only. Huh?
yeah, the past, huh? Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, what are other dinosaur facts? Oh yeah, the other cool one I was reading about is that how there's this theory in the last few years or whatever. Well, it's been since the 70s actually, but it's been like popularized lately. Is that everyone always thinks of dinosaurs as looking like lizards, which they did, and that's what the word dinosaur means, is terrible lizard.
Are you about to say because they had feathers?
Feathers.
Aha.
Yeah.
I think I know more about this than both of you put together.
Well, let's
You
find
two
out.
dodo brains.
Well, what I
Which,
know
as we've just learned, is got nothing to do with dinosaurs. So to interrupt for that yet again.
is that birds are descendants of a type of dinosaur called pteropods, I think, and they, which is just a kind of dinosaur, but there are heaps of Tyrannosaurus, because the Tyrannosaurus, like the T-Rex, there's like a ton of other Tyrannosauruses that aren't the, like Tyrannosaurus Rex is Tyrant Lizard King, while the other Tyrannosauruses.
You can't compete with that name. No wonder it's the most famous. Even though there's other Tyrannosaurs that are bigger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Who's got a cooler name than Tyrant Lizard King?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. Greatest name of any animal in the whole evolutionary experience of planet Earth, period.
And
I'm making that call now, even though we only know 0.01% of life on Earth at this point. You can't beat that. I'm sorry. Give up.
Yeah, because there's heaps of other tyrant lizards, and that was the king lizard.
Was it the king just because it was the largest?
No, they just thought it was the biggest at the time, but
okay.
It turns out we were wrong.
Yeah. But the reason they think that dinosaur, the T-Rex, was feathered was because there's a lot of other Tyrannosauruses which were completely feathered.
All of them, 100% of the family is feathered.
Yeah, but they're not completely feathered.
No.
And the larger the animal gets, like the reason you are feathered originally, like it was before like the evolution of birds to start flying, was you'd use feathers as incubation. Like, you know how like we would even use feathers, or in the past we would have used feathers to like create, you know, blankets and shit, I guess. But, do you reckon?
Learning from the ancients.
Yeah. But yeah, the point is that like elephants don't have feathers because they're just so massive. The fear is that they'll overheat and die if it was covered in feathers. So what they reckon is that the T-Rex was probably had like sporadic feathers, kind of like if you look at a bird's foot, it'll have kind of like mangy feathers on it, but also kind of like a scaly kind of look.
Like half.
Yeah, like a half. Like, there's no reason why not. It couldn't have a half. But like, they reckon that it was big, so it probably had feathers on it, but it wasn't completely covered in feathers. Just kind of like a sporadic feather here or there.
Pretty scummy. That same look that poodles have when they shave most of it except for the legs and the top of the head. And for some reason, old women think that that's adorable, but everybody else on the planet thinks it's hideous. I really think paleontologists in this situation are those old women. Trying to push to us going, it looks cooler, right?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was wrong. How cool is that?
Yeah,
It's not cool at all. What are you talking about? Why are you destroying our fantasy?
Yeah, but that's like an interesting... Yeah, because that's like the thing... Like, Jurassic Park was written by... I can't remember who wrote it, but his name is irrelevant. It's like, yeah, he was like a massive skeptic of... The reason it was written was because he hated cloning, and he was trying to get the public to just be really scared of cloning. So he wrote Jurassic Park as kind of a, we don't want this to happen. Like, and because of this book, which was written as like an anti-science book, the world fell in love with dinosaurs, but it's just riddled with science faults. Like, so much of it is just completely really, really flawed. But it doesn't matter. It's still an awesome movie. But part of that is like the lizard-looking dinosaurs. Like, they did exist, but like a lot of it's pretty not true.
I like the idea of them being covered in feathers more.
Yeah.
All raptors
massive
were.
birds.
100% of raptors were as well. Velociraptors aren't the most impressive of the raptor family either. There was two that I really like, and again, it was one of those American documentaries that I was watching with that voiceover. So it adds so much to the setup of this that first of all they go, Microraptors was the smallest of the family, weighing in at, I don't know, like just not that heavy at all, and half a meter in length, could fly and glide. So there was actually flying dinosaurs. So every time someone says to you that there wasn't, you can say, well, technically, yeah, I guess you're right. They could glide, though. So
what about,
do you count that as flying? And they'll say no, and then you'll say, all right, fair enough, there was no flying dinosaurs.
What about pterodactyls?
Pterodactyls are not dinosaurs. As if you didn't get that as one of your top 10 most interesting stats about dinosaurs.
I was leading into that. No what is that?
What are they, Jordan?
I didn't know that.
Spill the beans.
Just flying reptiles. That's what they're classified as. To be a dinosaur, you have to be a walking lizard-like creature.
And did you know
walking reptile.
That birds are technically reptiles today?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they are.
But that makes a lot of sense with the velociraptors, which, yeah, that was the first one is the Microraptor, and that glides around and chases little lizards and stuff. And so that's doing its thing.
That's sick.
Then a bigger raptor eats that one, which is apparently what happened. There was another raptor that was evolved basically to hunt microraptors, and it couldn't fly, but it could scuttle up trees really fast. And so while it was just sitting there cleaning its feathers, it'd be like... I love that even though they've changed so much over the years, the look of raptors, the sound hasn't, has it? It's still... And then, so that's eating it, and then it goes off to go and steal another dinosaur's eggs. This was an even bigger raptor. All of them have feathers. Every single member of the raptor family covered in feathers.
Yeah.
And so that's going, and they're just saying that, and this guy was bigger than the velociraptor, and so it eats the velociraptor that's trying to eat its eggs. And it goes, but not as big as the Gigantoraptor.
I love how they use these words, like the Gigantosaurus.
Yeah.
How could you not call it that when you're uncovering a dinosaur whose femur is just you standing next to it? You're a third of its size. Of course, you're going to call that.
Wow, that's gigantic.
It's a Gigantosaurus. This is huge. Has anyone patented this? No. Perfect. We're calling it now.
It seems like
run to the patent office for that.
It seems like to really kind of like cheapen dinosaurs to me. Like, oh, Gigantosaurus. It's so
yeah. It does make them sound like a mascot for tires, doesn't it? Gigantoraptor, make your car move fast. The Gigantoraptor was 8 meters in length.
Wow.
Height, and it looks like a giant emu. And it's great seeing this eat that because it has those cute little bird eyes.
Yeah.
But it's eating something that's pretty much the same size as you, as if you're a little worm.
Yeah.
And those things lived in droves of hundreds, scouring the desert for whatever sustenance they could find.
What period did they live in?
Themselves. That's right. They were cannibals. Cool fact number 5. I don't know what period they all lived in. All that stuff went in over my head. I'm just remembering certain facts about the dinosaurs because that's really all that could soak in was little tiny tidbits like the Argentinosaurus, which is the biggest dinosaur the world has ever known.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Yep.
35 meters in length. And this is what I was saying before to you guys, was that when you're discussing this in documentary, when they say, I don't know, the Spinosaurus was amazingly huge for the period, the time that it was in, 17 meters in length. This is a killing machine. You don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it.
It's like the blue whale. They're always like 30 meters long. That's 2 school buses. Like it's,
yeah. Even then,
it still doesn't.
Well, it's the biggest animal in the world. I was expecting it to be big.
Yeah. That's not that big.
Once he's seen Godzilla.
Imagine if there was just if they found a dinosaur the size of the moon.
Yeah, then
if the dinosaur is just a fossil.
If the moon was a dinosaur,
big. Yes,
that'd be good.
Curls up into a little ball. It's been sleeping this whole time. Yeah, it's got to come down and
awakens from its slumber, space sleep.
It
finally turns around. Yeah, we've just been looking at the back of its head.
Oh my god. What's its name?
The space dinosaur.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's the space dinosaur.
Yeah. Jesus.
All right, what's the next fact?
Space Cloticus.
Oh, what are you going to say about the...
Cloticus.
So how big was the Argentinosaur? Again, what a terrible
35
name.
meters in length. Because it was found in Argentina. What a surprise. Yeah. Be really good if they found it in France. So they just go, I've always wanted to visit.
Yeah, the Argentinosaurus.
It was, to give you an idea of the scope of an animal that is that size on Earth, not floating around in water, which seems a lot more harmless and peaceful to be that size. When you're 35 meters in length on the ground, you make footprints, just one of them walking around, footprints that make quicksand. That's your impact on the planet. In herds, you cause earthquakes that kill dinosaurs in the hundreds that are around you. With these quicksand puddles that they made, and puddles is used so loosely for this, because in one single puddle, they found 2 dead mammals, a dead crocodile, 18 smaller dead dinosaurs, and a turtle.
And a turtle.
I don't know how the turtle got in the quicksand either.
How did it get there?
It must have been a massive drought, and then it was just going.
Yeah.
It must have just hallucinated like an oasis and gone, "I'm shaved, or am I?"
No, quicksand, no.
The turtle's worst enemy.
Yeah,
Could it be at that point? And that's the other thing.
because they weighed like 80 tons each. Those things. Wow. The Argentinosaurus.
Again, what is that to me?
Yeah,
Really?
true. You're so right. Yeah.
That's 80 one-ton trucks.
Yeah. Wow.
Look at that.
The other thing that I really don't like, even though we've just talked about the biggest dinosaur ever, is the only thing that all these documentaries are concerned with.
Yeah, why is it
who's
that?
the biggest? Who's the biggest?
Yeah.
What do we got?
What's the most ferocious dinosaur ever?
It's such an American idea. Who's the most aggressive and who's got the biggest ass?
But who was the most aggressive? What was it? What's it called again? So the T-Rex isn't the biggest, as most people know now. There's like, you got T-Rex, the Gigantosaurus, then the Carcandorosaurus or whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then the biggest of all, which doesn't look anything like it. Yeah, the Spinosaurus, which is amazing.
And to give you an idea of just how big this dinosaur is. It is incredible. The look of it is, as Robbie describes it, a duck gone mad.
Because they all look like T-Rexes, like getting bigger and bigger, and then it's just the Spinosaurus is this just like really stupid looking animal. You wouldn't say it though at the time. Like if you saw it, it would be like you'd have a heart attack looking at that.
Such a funny point. If you're in front of it, you probably like wouldn't insult it.
Yeah,
You'd probably
call
be
it
like
that.
pretty scared or something. Yeah. You might want to run away. It's pretty vicious.
Yeah, well they were.
in New English, you want to keep your mouth shut.
But yeah, they are really cool because they're like super specialized. They used to live in these like narrow rivers, like these kind of like shallow water areas, and they had a big spine on their back that they used as a sail. So they're like these huge predators.
And to give you an idea of how big that spine is, one of the bones at the top of it is bigger than the tallest man in the world. We're talking a huge spine here.
But they'd use their sail to just like swim like very, very quickly down like rivers, and then they just like leap out like a radiated crocodile kind of thing, like just a super crocodile.
But they didn't use their mouths apparently because their mouths were not that powerful in bite. So what their mouth was mainly, even though it looks terrifying, you have to see this. It's such a real cartoon that a 5-year-old would make of a crocodile, where it's got that nyang 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 mouth.
How would it kill things?
Okay, so it would go over into the water, put its snout in. Its nostrils were up really high on its snout, so it could put it pretty deep in there.
Yeah.
And it would sense out the movement of large fish. And its main thing that it ate, because we see this in all the fossils across the planet, is constant sawfish. You'll see them at the aquarium. They're the thing that you'll see in the massive saltwater tank. And the two sharks that are in there, they're always talking about Port Jacksons are completely harmless to humans. And although grey nurses look like they can take a chunk out of you, they never had. Yeah, those. And then there's that thing that looks like a shark that has kind of like a chainsaw mouth.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Those are sawfish. And back in to use a Wollongong expression, back in the day, we're talking 260 million years ago, they would use that mouth as it would be able to sense out the movement of it. They'd grab it with their mouth, and that was pretty much it. Just to go nyang nyang, and then grab it with push it out, and so that was kind of like a fisherman hoisting its hands back.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the land, it'd use its little claws that were much larger than a T-Rex's to go and kill it.
Predator X.
And then the one that was next biggest to it, Carcharoo-boo-boo-boo-boo-saurus, the one that you said before, that was essentially a scavenger.
Oh,
It
really?
just let it do its thing, and because its mouth was not able to eat all of the meat on those fish, it just watched it fish all day, and then as soon as it had its fill, it'd just come in and be like,
Oh, what? That's disappointing. That's still kind of cool, but like it's just, it's not nearly as cool as...
Being a scavenger never
Gigantosaurus.
is it?
No.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
oh, God. The the A&E channel star of the dinosaur era. You know that channel on cable that's always talking about porn stars, and it's some fat southern dude going around into pawn shops and going, how much for this old cabin here?
Yeah.
I think it's about $50. I'll give you $45. Let's do a deal. Carcophosaurus, that's his direct link. That's his direct descendant, is that dinosaur.
Did you know?
But yeah, I heard a cool. So like the theory about how they died, like it's pretty. Oh, it's still debated, but most people will agree that it was like a combination of the comet and super volcanoes and land bridges from supercontinents and stuff causing disease and that kind of thing. But the comet though is an interesting one because if you look at like the moon, like the reason there's no big craters. There are some craters, but there's not. The Earth isn't just like covered in craters is because of plate tectonics, and we recycle our land all the time. Is always like recycling itself. But on the moon, for instance, or on Mars,
I think there's a good poster for the kids. They should put that up as a way to educate them, and not only about recycling, but also about the Earth's movements.
the Earth recycles. Yeah. Why don't you? Yeah. With that?
I'll get onto that.
Yeah, Robbie, can you do that?
Yeah. I bet if Robbie added that poster in his room, and we should do this as a pod experiment. We should make him make that poster and put it up and see if he recycles more.
We don't even have the option.
No, yeah, true, we don't.
Yeah, we should get onto that.
I bet Tom wouldn't. I bet Tom would take up smoking just to trash his room more.
Yeah, but yeah, so we don't have any craters, but like the moon or something does. And if you look at the moon, it's just like covered in craters, and somehow they've been able to kind of date when these craters have been have happened. And it turns out they kind of go in cycles of every like 28 million years or something like that. Craters just like will bombard these planets, but it doesn't happen just consistently. It's like in these like kind of waves of asteroids, and they don't know why they happen in these waves. And so the theory is we either have a brown dwarf star, which is like a very dim star that's almost invisible. That's but hugely influential in terms of like gravity. That's kind of also kind of partnered with our sun, but like it's really far away, and every 28 million years it like kind of comes. It's called, and the star's called Nemesis. And like whenever it gets close enough, it it brings with it like a ton of asteroids. That's one theory.
The domestic dispute of the universe. Yeah. You reckon? They're married and they're having an argument from eons apart, and the comet's getting thrown at Earth is the brown dwarf throwing a cutlery piece at the wall. Earth, the universe's wall.
But yeah, that's one theory, which sounds ridiculous. But the other theory that they've got is that we actually have like a ton of dark matter that's like around our galaxy, and like I don't know, it's just got to do with dark matter or something. It gets too confusing to me. Okay. But that's the other theory as to how just every now and then it just kind of like will fling just a ton of asteroids at us. But it sounds, both of those theories just sound both as stupid as each other, don't they?
They do. And both of them make the universe sound like it's got a vendetta against us.
Earth. Yeah.
That every now and then it remembers.
Yeah.
The universe is vindictive, but it also has a very poor memory. So every 28 million years it just remembers, oh, that's right, those bastards!
Yeah, but don't you always hear that? They're always, like in those docos as well, they'll be like, an asteroid kills us, comes every 28 million years. And the last one came, guess, 28 million years ago. But it's like, it's such a, so what? We haven't been around for a million years. Like, that stat's been valid for the entire history of humanity. It's not like, oh crap, like, we need to be worried now. Like, not
apparently there
20
is
years
a
ago.
prediction for September.
Really?
An apocalyptic prediction, yeah.
For an asteroid to kill us?
Not sure what it is. I think it might be an asteroid, yeah.
Robbie's research into dinosaurs.
All right, so now we've done what we know about dinosaurs. Robbie, what do you know?
I don't know. I can add to that, actually.
Yeah, we thought as much.
Yeah, I guess it was a bit unfair having you go last.
What do I know? Pterodactyls.
Not dinosaurs.
Kind of cool. Jesus.
Yeah,
next.
all right,
we'll leave it.
I would just like to point out also that it's not the Permian extinction, but the one after that wiped out most of the Earth's animals that were pre-dinosaurs, but pretty much they look exactly the same as them. Just call them dinosaurs. That period of time. Great documentary. Everyone should check it out. It's called Animal Armageddon. And the first line in this documentary is, "Death is one of the things that nature demands." Marcus Aurelius, 1st century AD. Why is that in a documentary about dinosaurs? That does not sound wise. In comparison to the great expanse of time, why would you pick something from 1st century AD as something as if like, it's wise, it's old, it's still around now?
Yeah, he knew.
It's definitely old. I guess one thing I did find out, I don't know if it's to do with dinosaurs that much, but I think we're in the midst of the 6th mass extinction.
Right now.
Yeah, currently, sort of to do,
Global warming.
Yeah, helped by human activities, deforestation, things of that nature.
Or as the Liberal Party calls it, so what? Fuck them.
Is that just like spin though? To like, it's such a emotive thing to say, like that we're causing the 6th mass extinction right now. Like
no, we clearly are causing the 6th mass extinction. I don't know why you have taken the same route as...
A woman wrote a book about it.
Well, it's so emotive.
It's us.
Yeah, but it's not like an event has happened. We're just, I guess we're
like helping.
Stat bomb him.
All right, deforestation. We are.
He opens his laptop screen as if he can Google this in time.
Okay. No, listen up. So,
yeah. Go on.
We're killing lots of amphibians. I read.
Frog genocide.
Yeah, there's a specific disease that we are.
And the bees and all
helping to pass about.
Yeah, there's plenty of bad stuff happening, but calling it like the 6th major extinction, it seems just a bit like, who made that decision? It's the truth.
It's happening 1,000 times faster than the natural order of life, meaning we are in the midst of a mass extinction, and it is happening at a much faster rate. So, for instance, what I was saying before with climate change, yes, we had the same level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere during that extinction post the Permian extinction that I was talking about before, but that happened over a period of 50,000 years to get to that point, and we're doing it in about 100 years. So,
well, extinctions aren't that bad then, are they?
I suppose, yeah. It changes things up a lot, and it did, sickly and weirdly, when I went to bed at night, thinking about the fact that, we've been through this whole song and dance before, that's fine. Maybe rest easy at night going that, we're just... something causes them. I blame volcanoes for the first 5. Humans are still up on volcanoes at the end of this one. We're still better than them.
Sweeping species loss under the rug or dismissing it as ecological scarism is a serious mistake. The loss of a single species may seem of minor importance. After all, does the world actually need tree frogs?
All right, where did you get this from?
In theory, no, it doesn't. Finish.
In theory, it doesn't.
Is that the end of them saying that is a serious mistake? But you're right, it doesn't.
Where'd you read that?
It's a short article.
Looking at?
It's a short article. I'll get it.
Oh, God. All right, we're moving on
Tom's
from this.
mass extinction theory is right. People, just sleep well at night. It ain't no biggie.
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls bigger than that.
All right, what's your hypothetical about dinosaurs, Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Guys... If this was a tourist venture, would you do it? And I think that we're all on the same boat, that we're not particularly aggressive people. We all, when we saw pictures of Brett Lee shooting a lion...
What?
No, maybe it wasn't Brett Lee, but it was some cricketer. Some cricketer was shooting a lion.
Okay.
Or an elephant.
I saw the photos,
whatever.
yeah.
Was this recently?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a mammal, and it was one of those, oh my God, not a polar bear. One of those kind of animals.
Yeah.
So we're all disgusted at that. However, you know how when you go to Mexico and you can pay $200 to go into an empty field and shoot a machine gun in the air?
Yeah.
Or throw grenades or whatever you want?
Yes.
If this was a business venture and you were a millionaire that could afford to do this, say you had $20 million and this was $1 million, so it's pricey, but you can cover this.
Yeah.
You can go back in time. There is a Mexican there going, okay, what weapon do you want? You've only got 5 minutes there. And then you can pick up a bazooka and there's a T-Rex just milling around there. would you do it? I would love to shoot a T-Rex with a bazooka. How great does that sound?
Really?
Doesn't that sound like so much fun?
No. Oh, well, it does sound like
bazooka.
be
It beats
honest, be
paintball. It
honest.
beats paintball as an office task, don't you think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't suits love to do that? How powerful would they feel? I
this
killed
is-
the king of the dinosaurs.
basically
It's
just-
only Monday. I'm going to close the deal. I can feel it.
This is the plot of Lost World of the second second Jurassic Park.
Does that have a bazooka in it, though?
No, he's hunting a T-Rex though.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Is my only response to that an impressed noise?
Oh, okay.
Good story. Good story. They know what the people want.
Yeah, like yeah, all right, I'll do it.
Robbie, you in? You in?
Oh no, I wouldn't do it. I feel too bad.
No.
Why would you feel bad? Don't you ever? All you
Why
think
do you
about
feel
when you
bad
think about a
killing
T-Rex?
a lion or something?
I would
Because it seems like I've seen a lion in the zoo and it's got such a sentient face. The only thing I've ever seen of a dinosaur, is that it's computer generated. So I suppose this proves my mum's theory that she probably learnt off 60 Minutes that computer graphic images of killing makes you desensitized to
Yeah.
that animal, which I do really feel no sympathy for a T-Rex at all.
Well, what if you went back in time and the T-Rex could like speak English? Would you kill it still?
It depends what it says at that point.
And it was like, please, Jordan, no, don't do it. Would you kill it?
At that point.
Of course.
Yeah, I'd be like, king of the lizards or king of the dinner plate? And I couldn't eat it because it was just blown up by a bazooka. So it was not a good action line to say. But you've only got 5 minutes to think about it. You're only
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time
yeah.
portal, then you got to back out.
I love how the Mexicans have developed the technology to go back in time and they're using it for like superstar safari hunting.
Yeah. And the technology is they put you on a donkey and then they spank its bum and then it just goes,
Yeah,
goes
it just
around in
spins
circles
around
really
horizontally,
fast.
like, you go back 260
200 million
million
years, and then when you go back to Mexico, it spanks the donkey again and makes it ride off into the distance. So a T-Rex comes out and goes,
and then you get to take the
bam,
shot. Take the
bazooka
shot, take the
time.
shot.
But then the other one also is the thought of a human being pushing the button to cause nuclear Armageddon.
Would you
is-
do it?
No. Why would that be the hypothetical? I'm pretty sure the answer to that.
It's only
I'm
a
not a betting
Monday.
man, but no.
Yeah.
But if in the history books it was written down for whatever reason that the general that pressed that button that caused a nuclear winter across the planet
Yeah.
was a Tyrannosaurus Rex with just a little general's hat on, that'd be fine, wouldn't it? And it's something to do with the fact that they're just seen as completely aggressive, isn't it?
I was thinking it's because they're getting theirs back, like because the mammals took over the little rodents.
Either way, yeah, it just seems like it
If I'm
has to
going
happen.
down, you're coming with me. Hit the launch
King
code.
stays king. Even though it's a nuclear winter and he's going to be the first one to die.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a real... We are...
Tyrant lizard king.
Mammals are Sally in Oblivion. T-Rex is Tom Cruise. Fuck you, mammals. And of course, for comical purposes, you do have to include the fact that it has tiny little arms going, can't do it, and then just puts its tongue in and goes,
As if with the just with the bazooka one, as if you wouldn't want to shoot close to it. Don't you think it'd be more fun to watch it?
spook it.
Yeah, just watch it, just
Spook
freak
it.
out. and
Cow
run
tip a
around.
T-Rex.
Saying it would
Yeah,
get
yeah.
spooked makes it way too sentient to blow it up, I feel. If it's getting spooked, then it's scared. So it can feel fear. Oh, no.
Jordan.
Dinner plate.
But if it did the classic movie, what we know from dinosaurs, which is essentially Jurassic Park, we shot the bazooka and then it turned around and went, as if you wouldn't want to blow it up just to shut it up. I hate that sound.
All right, you got us there.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So now we're going to go on to Goosebumps.
Okay.
A friend of Tom's party's most hated segment of the pod. Shout out to her. Let's listen. With just as much enthusiasm. It's all winding down for everybody. I think we're going to wind this up pretty soon. Or so you think. I reckon we'll just go and put it up in another book. What do you reckon?
Oh,
After
this one. Oh, yeah. I reckon we'll die on this one. What are the options?
So the options were to stay rolled up in a ball, or to uncurl and fall down into the plastic pit of hell. And people have decided to...
And Brock's answer this week was, I told you fuckers to die in the ball pit. Now you idiots are still... Something along the lines of that.
I think he said again, spelled incorrectly. That was good.
A lot of unnecessary swear words that just made it...
Yeah, nicely done, bro.
Go from, bread to a cake. That's how delicious that comment was. Tasty.
So we're going to uncurl. Okay. You gulp in some air and force your way through the bobbling balls. You push your arms forward in a breaststroke and kick your feet. Balls pop up into the air around you. But finally, you reach your little brother. Stinko! You call to him. He turns at the sound of your voice. His face is twisted into a look of terror. For once, he doesn't try to get away from you. Help me! He cries. He reaches for your outstretched hand. As soon as Stinky grabs your hand, you both sink down through the balls. Oh! You exclaim.
David Bowie.
Then you notice other kids are sinking too.
And David Bowie.
Something on the bottom of...
Yeah. That's how I make such creative songs. You've got to stay young.
Something on the bottom of this pit is sucking you in. It's David Bowie. You peer down. There's a giant plexiglass tube at the bottom of the ball pit. It's like a drain. There's no stopping the suction now. You're spiraling downward and taking Stinky with you. You take one last desperate gulp of air as you are pulled through the tube.
I don't like our chances, guys.
Yep.
You and Stinky pop out of the plexiglass drain pipe and land with a thud. A few more kids drop out of the pipe after you. You glance around. You're in a big windowless white room. Loud rock music blasts from a black boombox sitting on a stainless steel counter. But over the music, you hear cries and moans. Where are those terrible wails coming from, you wonder? Your eyes land on rows of cages lining one wall. A scream stops in your throat. The cages are full of kids.
I guess they're full of whales. Where are those whales coming from?
What are they doing here?
Why are there whales here?
Then a figure steps out from behind a white screen, a sight more terrifying than the caged humans, a giant rat.
I changed my mind. Your friend that you met at a party is a stiff. This book is like better than that party that you went to. Stay over and read that.
No! You moan in horror. Stinky whimpers beside you. He grabs your hand like a coward. He must be really afraid. You can't tear your eyes away from the awful sight. The more you stare, the more you think you recognize the creature. Unbelievable, but it looks like Zoe. But if it is Zoe, she is trapped somewhere between human and rat. Like an experiment gone horribly wrong. Her head is shaped like a rat's, but her eyes and lips are human. Her fur is as long as human hair. It covers a rat body with human legs and arms. Her hands are gnarled masses of fingers and claws. Yellow rat teeth poke knife-like out of her human mouth. Then you see something even worse. Yes, worse than a giant mutant rat person. Dozens of giant mutant rat people coming straight toward you.
Wouldn't it be great if this was, for legal reasons, R.L. Stein couldn't tell people of the time that he was on the smash hit Nickelodeon show Zoe 101.
This is backstage.
This is actually what Zoe was. Britney Spears' sister is a giant rat.
It's like his...
And to make her not self-conscious on screen, all the extras are giant rat people as well.
His way of trying to tell us.
Hollywood's not what you think it is.
Stein. All right, let's get going, Robbie.
Gotcha! Zoe shrieks. She springs at you and clutches you in her mutant claws. You shrink in horror, but you don't resist. Not with all those gross rat people lined up behind Zoe. She shoves you and Stinky into a cage and padlocks it. Who are you? You scream. What are you? We're the rat people, Zoe explains. We were created in a science experiment. You're ugly, Stinky blurts.
Blurts.
Stinky! You clap your hand over his mouth, but Zoe doesn't seem to notice. She lets out a long sigh, her whiskers twitch. Things used to be great. We had super strength and intelligence, and we could switch back and forth between human and giant rat, but we need to eat our special switch cheese formula, otherwise we get stuck this way, caught between rat and human. Then eat the stupid formula and let us go, you cry. We can't, Zoe says. We've run out of the original batch of switch cheese, and we're missing one key ingredient. Zoe presses her rat nose right up to the bars on your cage. She grins evilly. We're missing grated kid.
So American to call it kid instead of children.
You leap back from the bars. Grated kid! You gasp. What's that?
Robbie, your face saying that.
No, he didn't.
What?
Exactly what it sounds like, genius, Zoe answers. Stunned, you sink to your knees. Stinky covers his head with his arms and whimpers. The kids in the other cages moan. We'll make the necessary preparations. Zoe sets a ring of keys down on the counter and leads the way out the door. The other mutants follow her. You stare after them. That's when you notice one of the bars in the cage is bent. Could you, or Stinky, possibly slip through? If you could get those keys, you could open all the cages. It's probably your only chance to save your life. But you don't have much time. You study the bars. Don't think about it too long. Get moving. They'll be back any minute. All right, the options are, if you try to slip through the bars yourself, turn to page 114. If you send Stinky instead, turn to page 25. So, slip through the bars yourself, send Stinky. I reckon. Send Stinky.
Everyone's going to pick send Stink, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep. It's settled. All right.
Which shows how cowardly our generation is, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not even a thought. Sacrifice your younger brother. You're more important.
Oh, yeah, by the way, so comment that on the Facebook, whatever you reckon, and we'll do what the most people say.
And also, seeing as this is our dinosaur edition, we've decided to give you one hell of a prizosaurus for the pod. It's the first prize we're ever giving out, and it is a doozy. We are asking you to tell us, what's your favourite dinosaur in the comments box? And we will decide, purely based on opinion, who's right.
Yeah.
About whose favourite dinosaur is more favourite. And then what will happen then, in celebration of you getting your name one up from getting drawn out of a hat, essentially, we will then buy ourselves a bar of Milky Way.
Brought to you by Lonely Kids Club.
Milky Bar. Okay, sorry, we're going to buy a bar of Milky Bar. Brought to you by Lonely Kids Club. Shouts on them.
We didn't thank FBI.
Yeah. Thanks, FBI, by the way, for letting us produce the podcast here.
And we saw on the front that it said no eating or smoking or drinking, but we're going to be doing that at the next pod. Heads up.
Not doing any of those things. Oh, we might eat.
Yeah, we're going to eat. And at the same time, we'll be trying to set a world record while I'm eating that bar, which is yours. You won that bar, but I'll be eating it. But we're going to carve it into the dinosaur shape of whatever you chose it is, and I'm going to eat it in celebration of you. So you can imagine what that tastes like. It's going to taste like a Milky
Bar. And Robbie's got to suck down 3 cigarettes in that period.
Yes. While Tom breaks the world record for how many cigarettes you can fit in your mouth using a blowtorch to smoke them all at once.
You've got to chew a whole thing of chewing tobacco.
Chewing tobacco, yeah. Yeah, we ain't smoking.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
All right, yeah, cool. So, yeah, thanks to the Kids Club, and we'll be doing that next week.
And we mean it. So write in your favourite dinosaur. And
we say it at the same time.
I know. Like it's super exciting.
What's your favourite dinosaur?
Guys.
And even more childlike, there was a pause straight after that because both of our brains registered. Jinx!
All right. So now we're going to be playing drama games. Robbie's face. Yeah, so...
Tell the story. Tell the preamble to this. Oh, sorry. The name of this segment is The Noxymorons Take on the Dinosaurs.
So, stupidly, Robbie and I told Jordan about this a few weeks ago, and he's insisting that we do this. When we were in high school, we joined an
improvisational theatre troupe. And I had
one
that
of
on
the
my
guys.
resume.
Yes,
And then
you
on my
had that on your
resume
resume.
until, last year.
Oh my god!
For some reason I thought that was...
Why would you put that there? As though you're like a confident guy. Like, improv.
Were you imagining that when you were in an interview situation that they would look down and say, so it says you're part of the famous Noxymorons. Tell us more about that, Robbie. Well, I think it means I can think on my feet.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know why we joined it. I think we were pushed in by someone else. So there was this guy called Stuart who was this really tall, lanky kind of basketball player dude who was kind of the clown of the year group, like really kind of super confident, and he wanted to join, but he wouldn't do it unless we joined with him. And
confident as that was the cream of the crop of confidence in your group.
Was Stuart the basketballer?
You really are the first mammals in the dinosaur era, which is another tenuous link to dinosaurs. But that's you, isn't it? That's your whole school, just these little scuttling weasel-like creatures that go into the burrows, and that's how they win out from the comet.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was...
They're used to dust.
None of us wanted to do it, and we had to, we were, training for the regional comp, which was to go to the kind of, local girls' school and compete against, several other schools. But we were just so kind of disinterested in it, we just would mess around every practice day, and which was hilarious for us. But and the teacher, hated it. But by the time...
Tell them about Ryan.
Huh? Oh, Adam. Yeah,
no, not Adam. What's his name? The guy that works at...
Roger.
Roger works here at FBI. He's probably in the studio next to us as we speak. And they haven't talked to him much since high school. They just know from Facebook that he works here.
Yeah.
I tried to. It's just when I saw him at a festival, he doesn't want to chat. He doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Because of this story.
No. He's one of those guys that, kind of saw a touch of fame and is just kind of... stuck with it, I don't want to, pay him out.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But, if we weren't on air at the moment, it'd get pretty vicious.
But, we're in the troupe with Roger and
he took it seriously. He took it seriously. No one else in the troupe did.
Yeah. He joined because he wanted to do improv, and we were, there because we should have wanted to do it. I don't know. I guess we're kind of jerks for just not taking it seriously.
Just a laugh, yeah.
But it kind of all backfired on us because we got to the, the regionals or whatever, this competition, and we were like at these things you need to be really kind of in a good state of mind to perform well, because you're performing in front of all the parents are there and all the girls and all the everyone's there watching
everyone who you would want to impress on the planet at that point in your life.
And
chicks and your mum and dad.
And we did the dumbest thing. We made an event and tried to get everyone from our grade there, so all the cool guys showed up and stuff. And it was just
all or nothing.
And they're all sitting at the back kind of arms crossed, ready to see the show. But beforehand we were just running around the girls' school, and Stuart, who was it's a very loud kind of guy, we're running down the locker hallway, and he's flipping open all the lockers, and he keeps yelling oh, I found tampons.
Oh.
And then the librarian heard this and came out, she's what did you say? And then we all had to go up, and she was just this is outrageous. And then we had to remember we had to apologize to the headmistress before we went on in the courtyard.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, we were in that, when
Robbie
you get...
has... I know that people say this is a joke a lot, but it really does look like Robbie has repressed this memory.
Yeah, how do you not remember this? I was
look at him, he's scratching his neck like a crack addict.
I'm actually remembering this.
Yeah,
God.
Because that was the problem, was that so it's 10 minutes before showtime, and we've
so stressful.
just gotten in heaps of trouble when she's saying, I'm going to be talking to the headmaster of your school about this tomorrow morning. This is not acceptable, you're representing your school, whatever. And we were all very shaken up by this, like very like, oh god, like we're getting suspended or whatever. And then
what's even better is that no one in the school would have been in a better mood than you before that.
Yeah. We
and
would
then
have
to
aced that.
and then you would have felt the absolute worst in the entire school. No one would have felt. I'm sure that if someone was diagnosed with cancer in the audience, they'd be thinking at that moment, I'm glad I'm not those guys.
Yeah. So we were just like feeling like the lowest of the low, and we kind of just like trod into this amphitheater like performance hall or whatever, and everyone's there. We're sitting feeling really bad, but Stu, because he's so confident, just so oblivious of this, and he's used to getting in trouble, he just isn't really feeling that. And he was insisting that, like, as the teacher's calling up each school, he's saying, like, all right, so Loretto Girls' School, and then they come up and everyone claps or whatever. But for us, he was like, all right, then, like, Knox. And Stu was just, like, refusing to get up unless he referred to us as the Noxymorons. Do you remember that?
I love how he had to give you guys a pep talk before getting up as well.
Yeah, like, we're not getting up unless...
Everyone else was saying, it's over, man, I can't get up. I'm not in the mood to do improv. And then he was going, no, guys, come on. We're the Noxymorons. We're the Noxymorons, guys.
And we were all, like, excited about that idea. But after being so, like in trouble about this, we're just like, no, Stu, just let it go. But yeah.
And then, right after giving the pep talk, when he just got you over the border, much like a bunch of soldiers that are about to face an army 10 times their size. It was a monumental task what you're about to take on. To make himself even more of a leader in that situation. What an Alexander the Great of year 12 this guy is. Because then they said, okay, and now Knox Kinch, and you're up now. And then he, at that point, said to the adjudicator, it's Noxymorons. We're not getting up until you say Noxymorons.
Oh my god,
yeah.
Such a bad memory.
Wow.
And we were all thinking,
that's great.
Because at the time we weren't like, yeah, because beforehand we're like, yeah, great idea. But we were feeling so bad at this point that we were just like, like, we just kind of like trod up onto the stage, and then we like and obviously we're terrible at improv because everyone else has been practicing for months for this, and we've just been like shitting around the whole time.
Didn't we see a bunch of other... We weren't the first up, were we?
No, we saw some others, and they were all very good at it. And it was kind of that thing of like Roger was trying the whole time to do this improv, and we thought it was so lame, like in practice, because it's not cool, right, doing improv. But then in this world, of course it's cool, because everyone there loves improv, and it was actually, they were quite good at it, and they were admittedly quite funny. And then it was just kind of like, oh, crap, like we are screwed. and then the one I remember just being like the most embarrassing moment, like just so bad, was it was like the final round, and it was like, all right, this is like the longest one, it's a 5-minute long thing. You have to do a scene where we give you the scene. It's like Space Jump. So they give you like a place, and you just have to, and a new character has to come in. So it starts with one person. It goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like as in a second member enters, third member enters, and then it counts back down again.
If you don't know what Space Jam is, then I demand that you go into space without a space suit.
Yeah. Most people
you need to know,
and it's probably good. Like I'm not glad that I know about it. But
wow. Okay.
But So anyway, this is something which has always like really like pissed me off about Roger.
Let's lay down.
And you know what's great? Even though you guys have been very guarded about not dragging his name too much into the ground, you clearly are. And on top of that, the place where he tries to make himself as cool as he possibly can be, you're talking about it in that studio, about how much of an improv drama nerd he was at school. Oh.
No, like he's all right. I just haven't seen him in ages. But anyway, I just always remembered this as being like, why are you doing this, Roger? Like, because what happened was we started off and like they were like, all right, where are you? And the audience were like, all right, the Great Barrier Reef. You're at the Great Barrier Reef. And like, so I was instantly thinking like, there are so many options we can go with here. Like, preferably, you know, like we're a tourist group. We're something where at least we're people that are talking to each other, like human beings. Of course.
It'd be a good start.
Roger, he first pipes up for the whole night. He hadn't done anything else the whole night. He runs out as the first member and starts acting like a jellyfish. Just like silently swimming around. And then...
What did he...
And then I ran out.
Stupidest animal in the ocean. It doesn't even have a brain.
So
it's just a collection of cells.
Yeah. He'd set the scene where underwater, there's no... Now language is off the charts, right? There's no... You can't... What are we, in the water talking now? We're underwater.
We have to say yes to that, don't we?
Yeah, but you always have to say yes. That's like the key to improv, or you lose all the scores if you don't, you have to just be like, yeah, okay. So I run out.
So you knew that, but you didn't know how to improvise.
Yeah,
that
I couldn't
is just a
improv
recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to say yes to whatever is up
Yeah,
there.
but
You're not good at improvisation, though.
You can't do the
Okay.
skill. Yes.
And
So I ran out and I started being like a fish, like blubbering around. It's just silence. And all the other ones, people are like laughing, the crowd are loving it. It's just like cold silence. and me and Roger are just kind of like fumbling about on the stage. I look up and I see one of like the cool dudes in the year
Arms
kind of
folded.
looking back, kind of like frowning. And then like I think Adam
My
came out
cred.
and everyone starts coming out just being quiet. And then Stuart, so he's been causing all the trouble the whole night. He comes out and just stands there and like just knocks on an invisible door and goes, knock, knock. And then I go and answer it as like a fish. So I'm quiet and I'm like a fish or something. And he's like, oh, like Great Barrier Reef inspector here. And everyone, and it was like some inside joke from like way earlier. No one would understand it. And it was just met with nothing.
oh, was it?
Yeah, like there was like two girls at the front. They were like, but it was terrible. And then like it was just, and we got a 0 from all the judges. Like everyone was getting, it was out of 10. Everyone was getting like
Deserved that
8s,
one.
9s. We got 0s.
We did all right in the earlier ones though. Like I remember we
yeah.
did one where you're on a bike and there were sort of two foreigners on the bike, and the other two people had to like narrate their conversation. So they blah, 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 and the other person goes,
Where are you going today?
"Where?" Yeah, exactly. So that one I remember going all right.
Yeah, we did pretty good at that one.
Man,
But yeah,
Great
that
Barrier Reef
was a low
the
point.
pits. Yeah, that was the last one we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the last
what a
time
way to
we've
finish.
ever improvised.
Yeah.
Until now. The Noxymorons are back. It
No.
is the reuniting, much like when the Beatles go on top of that building for the
Yeah.
first time in years. This is this moment.
It's just frustrating because we
if
were
we
never
could only
good at
have
it.
one of those wind machines
Yes,
that
true.
blows into you, so you have to wear those coats that they're wearing. Going, bit chilly today, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the setting. That's your first setting, guys. That's your first setting for this
A
improvisation.
wind machine.
Get in the state.
Oh god,
I thought we agreed.
we're not doing it. What?
No, you can't say no. You can't. Rule 1 of improv. God, you guys are rusty. This is going to suck for you. This next 10 minutes.
Okay, give us the.
Well,
give us
as it's
location.
dinosaur set theme today, it obviously has to be about dinosaurs.
All
So
right, give us the set.
here it is, guys. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, remember, agree to everything.
I'll just be the crowd. So, first of all, the Cretaceous period. And like
it.
all.
Okay, yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
As in every single improvisational setting where you ask the crowd where you are, that in all of history has never changed. You're on the moon!
I wish we get Roger in here for this. Can we get Roger in for this?
Are you busy?
Yeah, he's producing at the moment.
Roger!
But, come on, it's like, as if anyone's going to notice if you're not there. It's FBI. Get in here and help out the troops. You're the Noxymorons. The Noxymorons, guys. You stand together, you fail together.
All right.
And just as what happens normally when they say, great, you're on the moon, but whereabouts on the moon? There's a long pause and then, a doctor's practice. So your dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period. Oh, you don't have to be dinosaurs, that's fine. But those are the three settings.
Okay.
Cretaceous period, moon. Go.
Hello, what seems to be the problem?
I can't believe I'm on the moon again.
Well, yeah, why are you here? Why are you in the doctor's office?
Is there a vet on this moon?
Yeah, maybe you should be in a vet because you're a dinosaur.
I am. What's your name?
My name's Dr. Smith from the doctor's office. What's your name? It's already like...
Shh, get in seed. Get in seed. Don't leave Robbie hanging.
My name's Jerry, and I've got a broken wing,
Oh,
and
no.
I need some help flying back to Earth. You see,
Well, Jerry, we're a
Gonna have to
doctor's
minus some
office.
points for that, as we've mentioned 3 times in this pod. They are not dinosaurs if they're flying. But keep going.
True.
Sorry to add some pressure to it. But,
Glide
yeah,
back
that's
to
what-
Earth.
I'm a reptile. You see, I'm
Well,
a
we're a
reptile from the
doctor's office.
Cretaceous
You're going to have
period.
to look up the vet.
Ah, okay. Do you have that number there?
Yes, I do, actually. Yes. Of course I do. Let me get it. What's the knock?
Cretaceous Inspector.
Oh, this is
Oh, God.
the roughest thing we've ever put out. That is.
That's the end of the pod. That's the end of the pod. Well done, guys. Brilliant work. I'm going to have to give you, because I did have to take a point off because of factual errors, but apart from that, perfect. Mid. I see how you guys got last, essentially. Both of you were a bunch of high school kids. 9 out of 10, though. Still good effort. I think you did well.
Thanks, Jordan.
man.
Yeah, that was a good last one.
Hated that.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya.